Well, today on River Rat Garage, we're going to give you an update on the 1967 Barris Barracuda interior. And I've pretty much got it all back together. It's been a while since I've been on here and getting a few messages asking me how things going with it. So I figured I'd give a little update of where everything's at. As you can see, it's pretty much all back together again. And and we got the new rug in it. That's kind of what started. And of course, I'm also putting in some front speakers because if you know, a convertible doesn't really have much in the way of places to put speakers in it. And so I'm just going to put them in. Anyway, let's talk about a little bit of the differences between this car and let's say a standard Barracuda and or Formula S for 67. To start off with, let's just go with the dash here. As you can see, it has a kind of an aluminum foil uh, covering on it, where the original ones were just flat. They were just flat and not much to talk about. Of course, this one here has a AM FM CB radio in it. When I first got the car, it did not have a radio in it, and so that was one of the things that I got. The person I bought this car from gave me a little bit of information on it and showed some pictures of it back in its heyday, I guess. And so anyway, let's just kind of go over this here car. If you look at the top of the door panels, I could get a light in here to kind of show you. You'll notice that the top here is wood grain. On the original Barracuda, that would have been just painted either red, I believe red, because the car is red, or maybe the off-white. I cannot answer that for sure, but of course, as you can see, it has aftermarket window regulators, and I don't believe them. They're the original door handles, but they're in here. They look to be Mopar. If you look, the panel going up here is also wood grain. I need to get the light on here a little bit better so you can see just a little bit more. And of course, it has a chrome on top. The bows themselves are just straight flat black. This in here has this thing in it for it has sunglasses on it in it. Let me get that up there. And a notepad, and of course the old pencil, and I guess a place to unzip and put your maps in and stuff. I don't know. And of course, my loving, caring wife redid the sun visors back to what they were when I got the car, and which is white with the black edging on it. This one here has a clock in the steering wheel, which is not original. Of course, the foot accelerator is not original. That there's not original. That wiring right there is just for the horn relay. I put a new fuse panel in it because the old one was looking kind of crusty, and so I haven't gotten that hooked in yet. Of course, a dimmer switch, and of course the ever popular Barris foot floor mats. He was kind of noted for putting these kind of things in the cars back in the day, and I'm fortunate enough to have these still with the car. The tack has Plymouth on it, which I have not seen one like it, and it's kind of flaking off a little bit, but there again, it's like what's 1967 to now, so 60, 60 some years old, so 50, 60 years old. I ought to get that. And there's the Barris emblem on the shifter itself. As you can see, it's a pistol grip, and it's automatic. As you can see, there's only one pedal down there. So I don't know. I really haven't ever seen any other pistol grips like this is like an original. I think it's by looking at it, I think it's an E-body one because it doesn't have all the curves and stuff on it like some of the others, but it's kind of nifty. And of course there's the boot that goes into the console, and I put in the air conditioner myself a few years back just because, well, I wanted air conditioning. Of course, I put that in there and never drove it since, and it's just been in it, but it will, I'm sure will blow cool. The glove box, pretty much just a standard glove box, nothing going on there. I have the light that goes inside there. I just don't know where it's at. You know how it goes. Anyway, we'll put that all back together, and of course it still has the Barracuda on there and that aluminum foil type facing. Here we are on this side, and as you can see, the door handle, and still some dust on this side from just sitting around, and there's a wood grain in it. If you can see the wood grain, it's done probably back in the 70s, I'm sure. Of course, out there I put a new skull thing in there just because, well, I had one. It has the mirrors, remote mirrors on it on both sides. Let's get to that. That's something a little different that you don't see on a standard 67 Barracuda. Okay, let's talk a little bit about other things that are just not standard on a 67 Barracuda. I briefly went over the console with it not having the indentation in the middle. This one here has been hacked up a little bit as far as putting it all together. They took out the original shifter, and they had put in this here in it, and I guess they decided to give it a 4-speed look, which is kind of cool. But anyway, there's that. Let's get out of this here car in a little bit so you can see the seat. I need to get that up to where it needs to be. It has the cushion air seat covers for the white interior. Of course, I don't believe these are the original seat covers that are in it. They're kind of a tuck and roll thing. Here's another rare option, the headrest. 67s, as you know, didn't have headrests in them. These here attach in the back, and that's pretty much that. The back end is kind of sitting there. Of course, the seats need to be cleaned up a little bit more, but we'll get to that. We're just right now putting it back together. So anyway, that's the interior of a ultra, well, I'm gonna have to say one of one Barracuda, but hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe, and if you have any comments or anything that you would like to ask me, I've had this car for quite some time, and I bought it. It came out of a farmer's field, more or less. A woman that had it didn't give a shit about it. Her husband, I guess, decided that he was going to go off with some other woman. He left the car, and that was probably a big mistake, because she ended up pretty much using it as a doghouse. And I got it, and we're putting it all back together again, and the way it was. Of course, I had it back together before, but I of course neglected it myself. As you can see, the top is still in pretty good shape. Need to clean it up pretty good, and the motor is still sitting there. I have the battery charger on it. I've thought about, let's go ahead and have a little fun. Let's just see if the thing will start. I have no idea, but while we're sitting right here, we'll just try starting it. How's that sound, guys? Let's just see if it'll turn over. Nope. Yep. There it goes. Mind you, this thing's been sitting for probably a year, so I doubt that it'll start too easily. It ain't wanting to start too easily, but we'll still try. Whoa! there it goes. Well, sounding pretty good. This thing's been sitting for a year or more. Well, there you go, guys. There's the front chin spoiler for it, laying on the trunk where it needs to be. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and turn it off because I don't know how good or bad that oil is. So I'll go ahead and let it warm up a little bit later and check the oil and stuff. I doubt that there's much going on there. Anyway, and that's the story of the 67 Barracuda. And hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe, and I'll chat with you later. Bye.